Happy Thursday, everyone. We have almost made it to the end of the week. It has been beautiful and sunny and a little warm here, but so excited, gearing up, getting closer to the weekend. I'm so happy that you all have joined me this week in our toddler preschool challenge that has been diving into this age group, their sleep, how we handle their sleep, and all the things that we see when we are working with this age. If you're joining me now, I would love for you to tell me where you are joining from, your location, and if you watch on replay, hashtag replay and where you're from. I would love to hear from you. We had a lot of great questions yesterday that I answered on the live as well as after. I had seen several comments and answered back, so I love the questions and comments. They're really helpful because at the end of the day, a lot of times, if you have a question, then there are probably 9 other moms that are going to have the same question about it. So the more we ask, the more we can get more knowledge and help each other out. So I love those questions. Keep them coming. Today is our third day and last day about the toddler preschool age and getting your little ones to sleep. So the first day we really dove into sleep issues, how do we analyze it, looking deeper into sleep problems, what's exact reasons that your child may not be sleeping well. Yesterday, we dove into the sleep environment, my favorite sleep products, sleep success moving forward. We had a lot to discuss yesterday. And today we're actually going to be diving into a lot more. We're going to be diving into early morning wakings, avoiding those bedtime battles, and then some key takeaways that we can take moving forward to start implementing better sleep for your little ones. In your email today, you should have gotten a handout, and this is a really important handout. So if you missed it in your emails, I did share it in the group, and it has a ton of tips to help you specifically avoid those bedtime and sleep time battles. So whether it's nap or bedtime, I've given you a list of information of things for you to start implementing and prioritizing today to get sleep going in the right direction. So the first thing we want to talk about is how do we avoid these bedtime battles or sleep time battles? So naps and bedtime. We see it usually once we get into the toddler and preschooler age, we start to see more battles happening because it's a huge age. They're developing, they're growing, they're learning to use their words, they're learning their actions. They can be more demanding. And we see a lot of negotiators. I call them the master negotiators at this age. When sleep time is coming, we are going to find everything that we can to stall it or try and put up a fight because we know sleep time's coming. So the first thing I want to talk about are several of the things that I put in the handout today. Now, it goes deeper than what I'm going to talk about here, so make sure you grab that and print it off or save it so you have that and you can start implementing it today because there's a lot of good strategies. The first thing, of course, we've talked about is the environment. That's number one. Every night or every sleep period, whether it be for nap or bedtime, make sure that environment, the sleep environment, is spot on. You have the same environment. You have the darkened room, the white noise. You have their favorite lovey. You have everything that they need in that sleep environment to make it a success. Then you want to incorporate a bedtime routine. And I know we hear this all the time, but it's very, very vital. The routine needs to be consistent, and you need to let the child be a part of that routine. By the time they get to the toddler preschooler age, they want to start having choices. They want to have a say in some of the bedtime routine. So give them that choice. You will be amazed by just giving them a choice of do they want X or Y in the bedtime routine. Every night giving them a choice of what they want to do, it's going to be huge, and letting them see that they made a choice in that routine. A part of the bedtime routine and how you give them choices is by implementing what I call a bedtime box. The bedtime box is a great way to get activities that are low stimulation, that are calming. It can be coloring, it can be drawing, it can be those lacing cards where they're using their fine motor skills, tying shoes. There's a ton of things that you can do to put in the bedtime box, matching games, coloring activities. All of those things you can put in the bedtime box, and you can have it on a weekly rotation, every other week rotation, where you're changing out what's in the bedtime box. So you might have 7 different things in your bedtime box and tell them, tonight you can choose 3 items in the bedtime box that you would like to complete. Now, some like to put books in there for the week, so you can actually put several books for them to choose one out for each night, or some that's a separate, they always get a book and they'll have a choice of books that they can have, or you can have it implemented in the bedtime routine box. The bedtime box is great as they get older because I'm telling you, they love to see it change. They like to see new stuff happening, and it's also a great way to wind down. As I talked about a minute ago in the routine is picking that routine together. The kids want to be a part not just of the bedtime routine, but things that are leading up to the bedtime. So in the evening, give them choices of maybe choices at dinner, choices of their bath time. Say it's bath time and they are going to throw a fit every time. Give them choices. Do you want a shower or a bath tonight? Do you want this shampoo or this shampoo? Do you want this toy or this toy? Those simple changes for them can be huge because they are seeing that mommy and daddy aren't telling me everything that I'm going to be doing. We're going to start letting me see what I want to do and give that choice leading up to even into the bedtime routine. Consistency rules sleep time. I know sometimes it's really hard to be consistent, especially like we have older children. It's hard to make sure everybody's getting what they need and stay on schedule and consistency all the time. But you really, more times than not, want to be consistent with the routine because your children are looking for that consistency. They thrive on that. Toddlers and preschoolers need the consistency, and they thrive on earlier bedtimes, especially if they're starting to remove that nap or they removed it completely. They need to make that sleep up somewhere. So if they have removed their nap or they're on the way to removing that nap, they might be in the bed between 6:30, 7:15 because they're making that sleep up now. The later we hold them up, let's say they're not napping anymore, and we're holding them up thinking we'll get them to 7:30, 7:45, 8. More times than not, you're going to see that early morning waking happen. And it's because we miss that right prime time sweet spot, as I call it, on timing to go to bed. So it's very important. They thrive on earlier to bed, earlier to rise. My 3-year-old who still does nap, even on days she's at home and she naps an hour and a half, even sometimes 2 hours, she still is in the bed usually by 7:30 because her body works better on those times. And then she's up for the day, usually 6:30, sometimes 7, but ready to go. Start early. The earlier the better. There's never a time that it's too late to start getting better sleep on the right path. But the earlier we can start those foundations, then we have already laid it. And as they get older and we go through bumps in the road, it's easier to handle things. I love a good morning and bedtime chart, especially a bedtime routine chart. They make things so easy for this age because this age needs to see it. They need to hear it. So when they see and hear it, they are going to understand that, and they see pictures along with it, that we do bath, we brush our teeth, we do our PJs. We pick 3 items in our bedtime box, and they're able to actually check it off or put a star next to it when they've done it. That gets in their head easier than just every night you going in trying to do things with them at the bedtime routine. They're going to get accustomed to their bedtime chart, and that's why I like the morning chart because it can get them going in the right direction in the morning as well, and then they feel like they're a part of it. The next thing for sure is you want to make it a priority. So make your sleep one of your top goals right now, especially if you're struggling with certain areas in sleep. It needs to be a top priority. Just like if you were sick and you weren't feeling well, your top priority is going to be getting you back healthy and feeling well again. So you're going to do what you need to. You're going to rest. You're going to take your supplements. If you need medicine, you're going to do so. Whatever it is to get you better, that's what you're working toward, and that's your number one focus. That's what needs to happen with sleep. Too many times we say, it's okay, we're just not sleeping. That's what happens when you have children, and we'll all just survive it. That's not a good way to look at it. Number one, sleep is needed, and it has to happen to be healthy, strong, growing well. It makes for happier children. It makes for happier parents. So try and put it at least for, try for a few weeks to put it at the top of your goal list to just be a priority and be consistent with it and see what changes you see happen just from that little change and tweak. The next thing that I want to go into, that was all about bedtime battles, what we can do to start avoiding those sleep time battles. Grab that handout for sure and keep it on hand. And then the next thing we're going to go on into is the early morning wakings. So one of the biggest things I get is early morning wakings. My child wakes too early. How do I get them to sleep longer? What can we do? So when we're talking about early morning wakings, number one, that is always the hardest piece of the puzzle to get because our sleep is the lightest at that time. They've already, the melatonin is wearing out of our body. It's nearing wake up time, and their body really has to get adjusted to sleeping through that. But you have to look at so many areas of sleep to determine why they're waking early. It could be because their bedtime is too early or too late. It could be because their nap time is not at the right time or not the right length. It could be because they are trying to remove a nap. Maybe they've been sleeping and now their body has to adjust to removing that nap. It can be a child who has recently started sleeping through the night. You see a lot of early morning wakings when their body is adjusting because they're getting more sleep overnight and now they have to adjust to waking in the morning. Many times it always goes back to one of those reasons is why. A lot of times the temperature change can be another reason. We talked about this the other day, that especially coming up, we're going to be having where it's warmer in the afternoons and then the early mornings are getting a little cooler. So definitely can be reasons why you see it happen. If you have a child that's recently potty trained, it can be where, they might be waking because they do need to go potty early in the morning, and that can be an adjustment as well. With the early morning wakings, I'm actually going to leave a blog post in the comment section here at the end of this because this blog post goes really deep and it goes over specific areas and gives a lot of detail of what you need to look for in the early morning wakings, how you can start changing that, and some things that you can start implementing. And like I said, with the early morning wakings, this is one reason I talked about why it was important for you to write down things and keep track of it, because this is where early morning waking and fixing that problem becomes very important. It could be where we need to adjust a nap by 15 minutes. It could be where we need to adjust a bedtime by 10 minutes. It could be because of their wake up time of the day. It can also be related to changes at preschool. Something new has happened at preschool and you didn't really know what was happening and implemented, or they changed nap time there and now we're seeing early morning wakings. Another thing we need to look at that's really important, and a lot of times we forget this, is when our little ones are eating in the day, especially in the evening leading up to bedtime, specifically those foods they're eating can impact their overnight sleep or can affect them. It can wire them up, especially if you're eating a lot of the packaged food or foods that have the dyes in them, extra sugar, extra caffeine. That's going to rev a system right up. And I'll tell you, for me, I'm not a caffeine drinker, but I do drink something. I've always drank something that's called Spark, and it's always been my thing. I love it. But if I have a Spark later in the evening, and caffeine does not affect me usually. I've never had it where it, even when I drink it in the day, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't, lift me up. I'm not a coffee drinker at all. But if I have caffeine, it usually doesn't affect me. But if I have caffeine after that 4 p.m. marker, you can guarantee that I'm going to be wired. Just can't settle to sleep. It doesn't make me hyper in the evenings, but it's when I try and go to sleep, I can't just calm my body. So I try and think about that with our little ones when they have sugars, chocolate. If they did get some caffeine in something, it's going to wire them up, and it's really hard to settle to sleep. And that's why yesterday I did talk about when we were talking about sleep environment, getting a good blanket or a good weighted blanket for them that will help kind of calm their system down. But it takes all of these pieces we've been talking about to go together to help your little one sleep. So remembering those things is really important. Another thing we get at this age is they really want to stall and drag out that bedtime. They may say, I've got to potty for the 3rd time. Well, did we really brush our teeth? I think I need to go back. Can daddy come give me just one more kiss? And as you see, I'm going through things that really do happen to me. And ironically, it's not my 3-year-old, it's my 5-year-old that goes through these things. But don't let them stall on this. Don't let them drag out. Don't let them add more things. Keep a consistent time. This age, toddler, preschooler, 15 to 20 minutes max is a good bedtime routine amount of time. I like to even let them set a timer. Get a little timer and let them set the time on it so they can actually see and set it and know when the time is up, it's ended, we've moved on. We're going to potty again if we have to one more time, and then we're going to move on to official bedtime. But dragging it out is always what they do often. I did get a comment yesterday. I wanted to mention that someone asked what I thought about essential oils. I think it's a great part of the sleep toolkit. I've always used essential oils. A little back history, I've used them since I was a child. My mom has a lot of allergies and a lot of health issues, and we actually have used oils since I was a child. I didn't really know any different because she had to use so many natural remedies. So I love essential oils, and I love letting them be a part of the bedtime routine and overnight. And we use them often, so I highly recommend. First, though, finding someone who is well equipped in the oil industry that knows about the oils, because oils, you need to make sure you're using them correctly, and it's very important to understand them. So be sure and reach out if you need. I have people that I can refer you to if you're looking for those, or you've been wondering about the oils. I will send you their way and you can ask about them, but I'd love to implement those in there. The biggest key takeaways that I want you to get from this week in this training is, number one, I want you to understand your child's sleep. And the reason I want you to understand it is because this is why I work with clients, and this is why I really love one-on-one support with clients. I want you to feel so confident in your child's sleep that you feel like you know what's going to be coming, how you handle the bumps in the road, how you get over their sleep hurdles, and you always have that in your back pocket, because it's going to happen. You're always going to have a sleep bump in the road, because our children are changing and sleep is a science. Some are minimally affected and others are affected big time. So I want you to be prepared and know your child's sleep so you can help improve their sleep. Setting up that ideal sleep environment, as well as what are some of the sleep habits that you can make successful for your family. Those are so important for you to know. Again, those topics came yesterday, so check out day 2. And I'm putting all this in a unit so you can easily find this. And then the third thing is really avoiding those bedtime battles, understanding early morning wakings, and how you can really, help your child get successful sleep and feel like sleep time is a exciting time and something you look forward to as well. One thing I did want to talk about that I forgot to mention is, I know we see a lot of children with fears and anxiety at this age, and that's why a lot of times they'll ask for, lights and things like that. If they have a lot of fears and anxiety, you need to talk to your children about them, especially at this age. Like, what is going on? Is there any big changes? Is there a reason for their fear? Let them know that you're there and you love them and you're comforting them. One thing I love doing is making a bottle of spray, and you can call it whatever you want to call it, because some kids are scared of monsters, some are scared of the dark, some are just scared of something they saw on TV. So make a spray with water. You can put essential oils in it, and it's their own personal spray, whether it be nighttime spray, bedtime spray, monster spray. Let them spray that around the room, under their bed, in the closet, all the spaces they need to spray, and let it be their, what comforts them and just gives them that they're able to make it feel more secure in there. That's a good little trick to try and ease those anxieties and fears about sleep time. I know this week we've had a lot of information, and there's a lot that we can cover at this age group, but I hope that this has been eye-opening for you. You have learned some new things about your child, maybe some new things that you can start implementing, especially when it comes to sleep periods. I also have, and two exciting things that I'm going to mention today is the first is my brand new toddler sleep program. This is the first time I've done this. I have had a lot of people ask this over the years, and I'm really excited to bring this group program to you. It will be for toddlers and preschoolers. And in this group program, it's going to be giving you everything that my one-to-one clients get and even more. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want a small group environment where you are actually going to learn too from other mothers. Because I feel at this age a lot of times, and I've been there too, where I feel like, is anybody else going through this? Do you see this? You know, has this happened to you? And I want you to know that the extra support is so vital for mamas and being in this group together. And in this group, I am going to have very limited numbers in this group because I want to keep it small so it feels and will be almost like a one-on-one time with me. You're actually going to have 6 weeks of support from me. So that means for 6 weeks, we are going to be a team together, conquering and battling the sleep issues and getting your little one to sleep better. We're going to have weekly trainings. And I'm actually going to be doing this in a Marco Polo app. If anybody has Marco Polo, I love it. And they have an app, it's called Channels, and we'll be having everything weekly in this Channels app. I'm going to be sharing all my resources, all my handouts, everything my one-to-one clients get, I'm going to be giving you, and you're going to have those every week. I'm going to be going live. We're going to be talking about your sleep struggles, your sleep issues. So you're going to have 6 weeks of continued support from me, weekly support, daily support. You're going to have other mamas help as well. And the best part about this is you're getting 6 weeks. So that's 2 extra weeks that my one-to-ones get. And you're also getting all the resources, everything that you need during this 6-week period. And I'm pumped because it's $100 cheaper than my one-to-one. So if price has been a little bit of an issue or you just weren't ready yet to hop on board, this group program is going to be the best for you. You're going to get all of that for $3.99 for a 6-week program, and the support and help and support from other mothers too. I'm going to have very, very limited spots in this because, like I said, I want it to be small. So the max number I'm taking is 5 people. 5 people is the max that I'm going to take in this group program. And you're going to be amazed and understand the transformation that we're going to go through during this time to better sleep. The next big exciting news that I have is when you sign on to the group program, I'm going to take everyone that signs on and put them into a drawing, and one lucky person is going to win a $50 Amazon gift card, a free 30-minute call with me, and you're also going to win one of my favorite sleep products, and you're going to get to choose which product you want out of the variety of options I have. So I'm really excited about that. That's worth over $150, and one lucky person is going to get that for free. I cannot wait. I'm excited. So once you sign on to the group program, you go in the drawing for that. So I'm really excited, looking forward to this. This group program is going to be amazing. You're going to learn so much. We're going to have children that have sleep issues, and that we are going to overcome and conquer those sleep issues and get everybody on the right track. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Please let me know if you have any questions. I can't wait to work with you. I can't wait to get sleep going in the right direction. I am grateful you all showed up for this challenge this week. And I hope you all have a great, great rest of your day. Remember, in the comments, I am going to leave that blog post on early morning wakings. And so you can dive even deeper into that and actually read it and see maybe why some of the reasons your little one's waking as well. Let me know if you have any questions. I will be checking back in with you, and I'm so excited and can't wait to work with some of you and get sleep going in the right direction. Chat with you soon.